What's up guys, Anfield here. Welcome back to a new video. Today's video we're going to be looking at Hoarce in his 907. It's the third of the replays that were sent to me by three very good players, so I'm pretty interested. I've watched this replay. I didn't watch the other two before I actually did the commentary, but I have watched this one because I was a bit interested by the fact that the battle is very, very quick and he does a lot of damage. So I was curious to watch it and see why that was before I actually got into it. And basically, it's not like much of a carry game. This isn't some epic duel to the death. You actually don't really get those that often these days in World of Tanks. But what it is a great example of how to keep your gun active non-stop in a game. Hoarce has read the matchmaker, seen that there's only one artillery, and while an M53-55 is very scary, there's a lot of tier 8s for him to just basically pummel through non-stop. The 907 has very, very quick reload, especially with rations. It's the only tank that's faster in terms of the Russian mediums is the Object 430, which is useless. But the 907 is very, very quick to reload. So he's basically got non-stop farm here. And you can see that since his first shot, he's basically non-stop been able to fire and as soon as he's reloaded. So it's really good to see these kind of positions. Now, if there was a lot of tier 10 mediums on the enemy team, this may have to be played more cautiously. The mediums could potentially challenge him. They're generally more bold and brazen, and their guns are much more effective. So they might poke up, like an STB-1 might come up and do something. And you have to be quite careful of that, being so high up here. If there's a lot of artillery as well, it can also be a problem. But there's only one M53-55, and Hoarce is willing to take the risk that it won't completely cripple him in one shot, which obviously is a big risk with an M53-55, but I think it's a worthwhile one in this particular case. See if he gets the track. Nice shot on the track there, the E75. Probably get one more shot, I think he does. Yes, and then he backs off, yeah. So, not being too greedy there. There's no point to take the shot from the E75 while he's reloading. And he didn't go for another track shot, so the E75 will undoubtedly be able to back up before he's finished that reload anyway. But yeah, more shots for him to get, and you can see this gun is non-stop active. He's already racked up 4,000 damage, just non-stop moving. So it's really about how you interpret the matchmaker, get to your initial position, and then read the battle flow from there, and just keep moving on as you need to. He's not taken any unnecessary risks. He's not exposed himself too badly here, and he hasn't taken any damage. So from his point of view, this battle is going really well. The Emil-1 turret is actually working against heat for some reason, even though the Emil-1 isn't actually really sloped from this angle, but he did finally get a shot there. That should be a shot. T-34, unfortunately, that turret does not hold up in tier 10. But nonetheless, Emil-1 should be gone soon. I think he pushes the Emil-1 soon, and the reason that he was able to push him is because, here we go, the Emil-1 is basically really slow to turn his turret, so Hoarce can just sort of get around him, take only one hit, and then, yeah. So you'll see that here. So there he goes. One shot, but the Emil-1 really slow to turn his turret. Hoarce can easily reload and move on. So 6,000 damage, and we're just moving on to some of the heavy tanks now with the Fe-215B here ready to be farmed. Gonna go for the back road wheel track, keep him perma-track there. T-34 is like, yo fam, I want to play too. Hoarce is like, nah fam, that's my damage. Absolutely devastates the Fe-215B. I actually didn't know it had an ammo rack in the back, so that's actually kind of surprising for me. I thought it was in the middle and in the turret, but oh well, you learn something new. Anyway, so he was able to track the M48. He probably would have preferred damage, but that's okay. But the M48 is distracted by his Object 140. So yeah, it's not a crazy game. It's not like it was some epic battle or ending or whatever, but you have. So for example, look at this Object 140 on his team, and then look at Hoarce and how much Hoarce did, and then you can kind of see the difference, right? They've been given the same tools, and you could argue that the 140 has a better time because of the fact that he has gun depression over the Object 907. But look at the difference in the game, and I think that's what's really important to take out of this, because positioning is so important just in these kind of games where you're going to wipe the enemy team, because this is a fast battle for all intents and purposes. I mean, it's assault, and it's only it's not even 5 minutes into the battle and the battle is over. But yet you can see how much damage he did with basically the same tools of this Object 140 on his team. You can see the difference, and I guess that's what I would say to you guys to see these kind of things. There's always a way to refine what you're doing to improve it and to keep your gun active in the game is really important. So 10,000 damage before 5 minutes of even passing the battle is really, really good. That includes the time to actually get over to the flank he was going to as well. So here's an artillery, and you know, typical artillery things means that he's not going to get that extra damage there on the artillery because, hey, look, I can YOLO snap because I have a turret. But a really, really nice game by Hoarce there. So thanks for sending it in. And here's some after battle stats. So you can see this is the victory score, you know, high caliber, obviously, mastery badge, obviously, and some other things like Confederate, which obviously he didn't get a lot of kills, considering the damage, but there. 10,734 compared to 2,288 with the exact same tools and the exact same map. That's really what I would stress to you guys. Look at the difference between the two. It's 8,000 damage with the same sort of setup, similar kinds of tanks. So it's really super important that on these kind of games you do try to pick up exactly how you can go about farming, keeping your gun active in the game, because they had two extraordinarily different games. But big thanks to Hoarce for sending that in. Congrats on your really high damage game. It's always quite satisfying, and it was very impressive to see how it was done within only 5 minutes. So thanks again. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you next time.